Woodworkers, and welcome to Wednesday. Can you believe that we're already halfway through our week of VBS? It's been awesome so far, and I am looking forward to more great crafts and activities in the days to come. Today's story is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, so we're going to be making a fun sponge art craft like the examples here. The idea is that you have people outlines that you put on the paper, and then you use sponges to paint over them, and when you take them away, it looks like 3 people are inside the fire, just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were saved by God. Okay, so to start this craft, we are going to print out the resource sheet for this craft. So you can see it has 3 people, and then you can cut them out. It should be available with the instructions for the crafts. For this, just try to cut on the black lines, but don't worry too much about making it exact. It will look good however you do it. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time cutting all of these out, so I already cut out 3 people from a resource page, and now I'm going to put them on the paper where I like them. I'm going to try to center them. Now, to make sure these people don't move, I'm going to tape them down. I'm using blue painter's tape, which is nice because it doesn't stick very much, so you can peel it off easily later, but masking tape works just as well. Now, be careful when you're taping it down. Try to make it so that the tape doesn't stick out from the outlines much. Okay. Doesn't require much, you just need them to stay in place. Now you can pick whatever colors you want to for the flame painting. I'm going to use red, orange, and yellow today. But if you want to, you could just use one color and it'll still look really good. You can also use different colors. You could use purple paint, you could use blue paint, you could use green paint, whatever color you want your fire to be. It is up to you. Okay, I have taped them down. When you're done, it should look like this. I put a few pieces of tape on each of the outlines just to hold them against the page. Now I'll explain to you what I mean by painting with sponges. What we're going to do is we're going to cut out flame shapes from our sponge here. You can use just a normal kitchen sponge. It doesn't matter what kind you're using. And then after we've cut out the flame shapes, we're going to dip them in our paint, which we're going to contain with this plate here, and stamp it onto the paper. Speaking of the paper, it's best here if you don't use printer paper, if you use something just a little bit thicker, any sort of construction paper, watercolor paper, whatever you have. If you don't have anything else, printer paper will work fine too. For this craft, I'd like to cut out some triangles that look a little bit like flames. Cut out a smaller triangle here. Maybe another triangle like this one. Great, so now I have some stamps made of sponges. If you want to, you can save a piece of the sponge because, hint, we're going to be doing a craft with stamps again tomorrow. Okay, now since we're using 3 colors, you don't have to put very much of each color onto your plate. Just a little dollop. There's some yellow. Here's some orange. And here's my red. All right, let's get started. So I'm gonna take one of my sponges. I'll start by dipping it in the orange paint and start stamping it around. Try to be pretty light about it so that you're not painting, but you're getting the sponge's texture. Okay, I like that. Maybe I'll do a little bit of red now. Make sure you get between the legs, under the arms. And make sure to go under the feet and above the heads too, otherwise they won't look like people. Now I'm gonna do some yellow with my skinny triangle. Maybe I'll do a lot of that at the top. Yeah, I like that. Again, this is artistic interpretation, so figure out what you want to do. It'll look great however you decide to do it. If you want to, you can take your sponge and put multiple colors on it. That way you get some of both when you stamp down. You can mix them together on your plate a little bit to get colors that are in between. Do whatever you like here. Go back to my sponge that had red on it. Get a little yellow, get a little red. Do some in here. Now that I have gone all the way around with my flames, I'm not going to go all the way to the edge of the page, but you can if you want to. It should look something like this. The tape is still there, and the paint is all around the people. Now, the next step is to peel the people off of the paper. But my paint isn't dry yet, so I'm not going to do that. You should probably wait until your paint is at least a little bit drier before you take off your people. That way you get a good stenciled effect. But with this one here, you can see how it might look, how you have the 3 people outlines. Now, I think I'm gonna take my people off now. Looks pretty good. I'm taking them off right now so I can show you, but you might want to wait a little bit longer. Peel it off carefully so you don't disturb your paint. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in any gaps that were created by the tape now with some paint. Don't worry too much about this, but if you see any place where the outline isn't totally completed, you might want to get in and add a little bit more. And there it is. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, if you want to, you can decorate it a little bit. I'm going to use one of my markers to write their names. Nice, I like that. If you want to, you can use a marker to trace around your people. To create more of a person. Or you can add little smiley faces to show that they were protected by God in the flames. And there you go. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in paint.